Hi there, this is Don Gertz, and I'm with my friend Greg DeMarco. We like to call this Greg and Don's Excellent Adventure, and we're here to have a sales conversation, a conversation about how to improve our sales and how to get better at what we do. We feel that there's this old saying goes that iron sharpens iron. So when we get together, we get one mind is better is made better by two minds, and two minds are made better by three or four. So if what our purpose is or what our goal is just to talk through a few different scenarios in sales, whether it be real estate sales or yacht sales or any kind of sales. Sales is sales. It's all the same kind of ideas. It's about building relationships and building trust. So today we want to talk a little bit about lead generation. In our last conversation, we talked about what was important and how somebody could get noticed, and the important part is being able to develop the relationships. We know that you're not going to sell a new house to your mom and dad every week, so you have to be able to generate new leads. And I think that's probably the same in any sales. Your mom and dad aren't going to continually buying your own product. Your mom might like the blog posts that you post and different things like that, but she's not going to buy a new house every day. So we need to talk about lead generation. Where are we going to get those new leads? So, Greg, you want to talk about a couple different ways that you found for generating new leads?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I can tell you with all the clients that I've picked up in the last year, that's certainly one of the main topics that we get into, other than the sales portion, is the obvious prospecting or lead generation. So, I always ask people what they do, what they're selling, because it does sort of vary a little bit, but the general idea is this. The first go-to for me is your current network, and connecting with those people and telling them, what it is you're doing. It's not necessarily to get business from them. It's what it is to pass the word on that you've made a change, and you use your current connections to do that. But depending on what it is, like I know in the yacht business, like I had mentioned in our last episode that I was talking to coaching this client who just got a job at a marina. And the first thing she said to me was, well, how do I, like, they haven't really trained me too much yet, but what do I do? She really didn't, they really just stuck her in a seat and gave her a bunch of brochures to go over for product knowledge. So I said to her, well, the most obvious thing for me is, if it's a weekend, get out on the docks and start talking to people, because most of the people that were buying boats when I was in the business were there on weekends looking at boats. So get out on the docks in that way. So if you're in real estate, if you're in any other venture, the idea really is to get out and meet people and network. If it's like what I said, it's in order to stand out, you have to be present, and if you're going to be present, you have to be a participant. So start looking at communities, group communities, chambers, things like that. And obviously social media is has a huge impact on what it is you're doing. I prefer LinkedIn. I get a lot of leads from LinkedIn. It's how you do it and what you do with it that really gets your leads. But that's a huge conversation to have, because there's a lot of technical stuff that I don't think we want to get into. But social media is definitely up there. It depends on you have to identify what your market is and what you're doing and how you want to attack it. And lead generation is important. If you're sitting there waiting for leads, you're probably going to starve.
Waiting for the phone to ring.
Yeah, wait for the phone to ring. That's right.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
sitting there waiting and hoping.
just keep looking at it.
With the fingers, yeah, the fingers crossed, and
Yeah. Okay, I put an ad. I
yeah,
put an ad on social media. Somebody's going to call me, right? There we
yeah,
go.
you got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
does it
hey,
work?
what's funny is one of the things I did, that I had started doing for my own business, that I told this client of mine to do, is to actually niche down what she wants to sell within that group of boats that she sells, for example. And this can be had by anybody in the real estate, boating, my business, which is coaching and mentoring, is you start a program like a video series, and you focus on a niche. And if you're into real estate, because I coached some real estate agents not too long ago, I told them that they should get together, and they were in an island down in the Caribbean. And what they could do was, why people should look at coming here as opposed to other places, or what's the lifestyle like here, or what's the market like, adding a complete value to it. So they get actually people who may be looking for homes in that area. They could actually watch their program, and then they would obviously put a little plug at the end for them. But I do that in my own business. I have these free calls that I do, and that's a great way to generate leads. That's where I get a ton of my own business.
It's called about giving before you get something.
Yeah.
Right. And you give good value. You have to bring value to the conversation. So I knew one guy, he used to joke about it, but he said that he'd say, "Where do you get your leads?" And he says, "Well, I joined 4 churches and I got their membership lists." So that's where he got his leads. I don't think that's the way to go, folks. You don't want to do that, because you don't want to be that guy or that girl that goes and says, "Okay, now there's the guy's coming. He's going to ask me about real estate, or he's going to talk about real estate all the time." You want to be able to have relationships with people, and by having a relationship with somebody means that you care about what is important to them. I like the idea that you had there about niching down. And in real estate, it's you think, okay, what do you do? Well, I sell houses, or I list houses. But really think about it. What's the problem that you solve, right? Like, what's the problem that you solve? Know what the problem that you solve is. Well, I sell houses. Yeah, but who do you sell houses for? Do you sell houses for people that have grown out of their house? Do you sell houses for brand new families? Do you sell houses for people that want to buy condos? Do you sell farms? Do you sell industrial property? Like, it's very easy to niche down, to pick a niche. Well, I think what we're afraid of is we have that scarcity concept, where we think, okay, there's not going to be enough. But I guarantee you there's enough, when you niche down, and there's not a scarcity of clients for your type of product. So I think one of the big things that Greg mentioned was his sphere of influence, or his number of contacts. And what we ask our new realtors to do, and all realtors to do, is to establish a CRM that has your database of clients. And a database is more than just the names, address, or the names and phone numbers of the people. It also includes the name of their dog. It includes the name of their kids. It includes the address of where they live. It includes what they like to do. All these different things, that gives you a reason to talk to somebody. And then I also like Greg's idea of doing a series, a set of videos. You become whatever you're interested in, is going to attract a number of other people that are also interested in the same kind of topics. I know one of the guys in our office, he's done a really, really good job of doing reviews of restaurants. He likes to eat. He likes to eat, and he goes to these different places, and he does really cool reviews on video. And it's about the video. And lots of times we don't like the idea of say, well, I don't want to be on video. But, if you're going to be present, you got to participate. There's different ways of doing video. I don't always like doing video either. So I went and had a caricature of myself made, and got them animated so I can actually be a cartoon feature. Maybe we'll insert that here so you can see. But there's lots of different ways.
That's a great idea, Don. That was a great idea, actually.
Yeah.
And because of that reason, what you just said, because there are a lot of people that don't like video. And they're afraid of it. That was a perfect idea of what to do.
Yeah, but it's a reality is that our world, like, people don't read text anymore. They want to see the video. They'll read the text if it's scrolling across the bottom of a video, because they don't want to actually listen to what you're saying. So there's all these different things that you can do to generate leads. So there's like in real estate, for example, for generating leads, the first and foremost place to generate a lead is by providing such great service to your existing clientele and database that they want to refer business to you, because they know that the people that they refer business, that they refer you business to, that those people are going to get the same kind of treatment. They're going to get, treated as family and treated very well. They'll be satisfied. The other places that you do it is I know people, I know guys that are old school. They go in the morning, they go into the office in the morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, they pick up the phone and they start dialing numbers. They just start calling people, and they're done at 11:30. But I think the key to it is to have a pattern, have a set number of different lead generation systems that you can go to, and you do them every day, 2 hours a day, and you're going to generate enough leads.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, I think that one of the most underrated, from all the training that I've done with my clients and, with teams, the most underrated lead generation was actually calling your existing clients. There's huge value in that. And I remember in the boat business, for example, I can give you two examples. In the boat business, when it came to fall in Canada, obviously people are putting their boats away and sales kind of dip a bit. So one of the things I started adopting when I was in there was calling existing clients and getting them teed up for a boat show or something. But getting that, calling my clients, especially the ones that had bought maybe 3 or 4 years previously, maybe it's time to upgrade the boat. But even in my own business, when things got a little slow, I just start calling my existing clients and saying, I've got this new product, this new mastermind going on, and this is what it talks about. I think you'd be perfect for it. And that goes a long way.
Yeah, you're offering value. You're offering value to your clients.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that is one of the most, I remember talking to a few clients that, were sitting there, I need to get some more leads. This was in the middle of the pandemic and stuff. And I said, have you thought about reaching out to your existing clients? Why would I do that? Was most of the responses I got, if you could believe it. I said, you're going to do that because you're going to ask them how they're doing. Are they faring okay? And maybe devise some kind of an offer for them to see if they're willing to get something different. That goes a long way.
It's great. It's a great idea. I think that's a mine full of diamonds. Where we can look and say, okay, well, our clients, they know, like, and trust us already. Hopefully.
That's right. Half of that, half the battle is already waged and won, right? Yeah. They trust you, they like you. Well, hopefully they trust you and like you. I mean, they wouldn't have bought from you if they didn't, right? So all it is a matter of you telling them about what it is that you can do for them.
One of the temptations in real estate is to buy leads. We have different companies that are calling us all the time and saying, hey, I can give you 20 leads a month or 50 leads a month. And you're just going to have to pay for them. And I think that's a fallacy in that those leads typically, and depending on what level those leads are, some of those leads might be good, but historically, maybe 1 in 1,000 is good. Maybe 1 in 500, but it depends on where they come from. But if you're going to, I don't ever recommend anybody buying any leads from any source, because those guys are also selling those same leads to 5 other people. So you're automatically in competition, and the leads are you spend a lot of money on buying those leads, but then you spend a lot of time and money trying to nurture those leads. But if you have somebody that opts into if you have a landing page and they opt into your landing page, or they come by way of another, circumstance, but you haven't necessarily built the the trust and the likability yet for them to do business with you. But you have to have a system to nurture that lead as well. So how are you going to figure out not only how are you going to get the lead, but once you get the lead, what's going to be the plan to nurture it along the way?
Well, like everything in our businesses, whether you're in real estate, boats, coaching business, it doesn't matter. You have to have a strategy. And one of the things I coach on with my clients is actually coming up with a strategy. So what is the purpose? In their idea, most of them actually will say, well, I guess it's to sell. And I usually, and now my first sales manager, if he heard me saying this, he'd probably shoot me in the head. But my approach is not to sell anybody anything. When I get them on an appointment call, it's all about finding out who they are, where they're coming from, what their challenges are, and whether or not I can even help them. And now if the boxes are all checked, then the conversation becomes something else. If I can help them. Now it moves from more of a get to know you to okay, well, here's a solution that just probably will fix that problem. And then the conversation goes in that direction. But I'm upfront about it. Like my strategy is, and I tell people this, look, I'm going to get you on a call. Let's have a conversation and get to know each other. That's all it's about. I'll ask you some questions. You ask me some questions. If it's a good fit, great. Then if I can help solve a problem that you have, the conversation will take a different approach from there. But, right now, let's just get to know each other. And I find that works like a charm.
You can't be everything to everybody. You have to be specific.
No, and that's how you avoid a lot of problems as far as I'm concerned. If you're with the right person and you're both a good fit for one another, then all the power to you. But if it's not a good fit, don't try and fit a square peg into a round hole. It won't work. So
that's great, Greg. I think on our next conversation, I think what we're going to talk about is how to turn that personal conversation into business. Like we talked about building rapport, and part of that's the conversations that we have with our clients and with our prospects. But how do you turn those conversations actually into business, especially if you're trying to list their house or sell their house or have them as a client? How do you actually make that move? So that's going to be the focus of our next conversation. And I want to thank you, Greg, for your time today. And for us, those watching, thanks for tuning in to Greg and Don's Excellent Adventure. And I hope you're having an excellent adventure as well today. So,
thanks, guys.